If you've been battling to get your driver's license renewed, extended, then you want to listen to this next conversation because it pertains to that and more. Andrea van Heerden, Senior Legal Project Manager at OUTA, joins me in the studio. How's it, Andrea?
Hi, Tom. I'm doing well. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm okay. I'm just worried about the acronyms that are going to fly around in the second part of this interview. But let's get started with driver's license extensions. And the drama that many South Africans have had when they go to a testing center, they find out that it's almost impossible to book an open slot. And then we had all these allegations of touts that come along and say, well, if you pay me money, I'll get you in there, which isn't a perfect situation for anyone. It's reeks of corruption. And the minister's been involved in this with press statements and engagements with interested parties. And I think you said on the 2nd of September, the minister made an announcement regarding driver's license extension periods. What did the minister say?
Well, Tom, before I answer your question, I think it's very important just to remind our OUTA supporters of what we've done thus far in this project. So in March, we met with the Minister Fikile Mbalula. We presented why OUTA is of the opinion that a driver's license extension period of 10 years would assist South Africa.
That's been your position, right? Take it from 5 years and extend it to 10, and then you alleviate a lot of the problems.
That is correct. And it will afford government enough time to correct the issues that we found with the system as well.
Which makes perfect sense. So did the minister say, okay, agree with OUTA, let's go? Or what did the minister say?
Well, I must say our engagement was quite interesting because firstly he mentioned that he acknowledges the fact that he's not always going to agree with OUTA, but on this subject matter, he doesn't see any problem with it, but he still has to conduct his research or instruct the RTMC to do independent research.
So much red tape, Andrea, to make decisions in government.
And you know what is interesting, Tom, specifically with this point, the 10-year extension. So in 2013, the then Minister of Transport actually published a gazette extending the period of driver's licenses to 10 years. And not even 9 months after that, this extension was retracted again and then made to 5 years again. So it's nothing new. They have done it in the past.
Government's actually been there before.
They have been there in the past. And that just also adds fuel to our fire, saying that there's no reason why government should not extend it to 10 years.
So what's the latest? Is it going to get extended to 10 years?
All right. So the minister had a press conference on the 2nd of September where he gave some feedback. So he said that he did receive the research report from the RTMC. And to help you out with the acronyms, the RTMC is the Road Traffic Management Corporation. Yes. So he received the research back from them on their position or what they said in terms of the extension of the period.
Do you know what that is?
Well, he said, according to the research that he has before him, which OUTA has not seen yet, which we have requested, he said that the RTMC found that extension of 10-year period, you will find a majority of countries who are not battling with road safety as South Africa.
So it's first world system,
which is incorrect because that's not what our research shows. Our research shows developed and developing countries like South Africa. We took 34 countries, looked at them, and the average period of all 34 countries is 8.5 years.
Why would the RTMC not just say, okay, let's extend it to 10?
Well, I think I don't necessarily know if this is not necessarily OUTA's position. This is my own personal opinion, but it's about money makings. Because if you really think about it, you pay every time you renew your driver's license, you pay a certain fee.
So you miss out on one cycle in a 10-year
period. Exactly. So there is, and I'm sure it's not the only motivation, but that is one of the things that that I am of the opinion of would be a driving factor behind this, and also why they retracted the previous amendment or the previous regulation extending it to 10 years.
So OUTA's position is take this to 10 years, extend the driver's licenses to 10 years, and let's get rid of the immediate problem, which is the backlog.
Yes.
You've got time to work on it, and then South African motorists aren't beleaguered.
Absolutely.
Your chances of getting this right, what are the steps that you're going to take?
Well, our next action steps will be, we've been asking to get follow-up engagements with the minister. We've also requested via letter to send us this research. Now, our next step would be to launch a PI application if he's not forthcoming with that. And then also we are embarking on a heavy campaign to get people behind us and to apply public pressure on the minister to eventually make this decision. Now, interesting enough, Tom, during that press conference he had on the 2nd of September, the majority of the information that was interesting didn't come from the press conference itself. It came from the question and answer session afterwards.
Okay.
And what the minister said, which we do not agree with, is he said that this 10-year period extension he has to take to cabinet in order for cabinet to approve it, and then he will make a decision, which is not true, because in terms of the National Road Traffic Act, the minister, in his capacity of minister, can promulgate or can publish regulations. And this validity period of 10 years is not in the Act, it's in the regulations to the Act.
It can't be easy being a minister. I don't want to excuse Minister Mbulula on this one. Who wants to? But on the one hand, you got the pressure from RTMC saying, hold on, you're going to cost us money if you go that way. On the other hand, you got pressure from civil society in South Africa saying, look, this is ridiculous. But when you look at it in the balance of things, surely the minister has to come our way, to society's way on this one.
Absolutely. If you think about the mere fact that the RTMC is not supposed to be a profit-making company. They are a state-owned institution to provide services. They have to deliver services. And if you look at the whole model, the funding model of not just the RTMC, but entities like the DLCA, which is the driver's license card account entity responsible for the printing of your driver's license card, and even the RTIA, the Road Traffic Infringement Agency, which is responsible for the enforcement of R2. If you look at how those entities are set up, you will look at their business model and find that all of them are money-making schemes.
Sure.
And unfortunately, what the reality is in South Africa is when a service or a public service or a state-owned entity makes profit, that doesn't necessarily go back into the fiscus. It just opens the door for maladministration, as we've seen with the RTIA's former CEO, Jeff Chewy, who decided to give himself a 10 million rand bonus. So that is the problem we have. So yes, I do understand that profit making in order to provide a service, I do understand that. But the problem is they have an annual turnover of more than 250 million rand a year, which should actually go back into the fiscus,
and
but it doesn't.
benefit the taxpayer.
And benefit us, yes,
right,
but it doesn't.
It just stinks, doesn't it? But you're on this. So you have been for some time and you're not letting it go.
Absolutely not. No, we honestly believe that this is absolutely a quick fix to enable government to look at more permanent solutions in order to resolve some of these issues.
All right. Before the interview, you said you also want to talk about RTMC and is it DLTC? TC.
Yes.
Right. You're going to have to.
All right. So the
start
RTMC.
at the basement with this one.
I will. The RTMC is the Road Traffic Management Corporation, as we've established. So they basically are responsible for the management of all the road traffic or the publications of fees. Excuse me. So, for instance, they tell us what we need to pay to renew a driver's license, right? And when you go to a driver's license or when you want to renew your driver's license, you go to a DLTC, which is a driver's license testing center.
I guessed that one. Okay.
Yes. So, interesting enough, there was a leaked report it's a forensic investigation report commissioned by the Premier of Gauteng's office into certain allegations that were made in terms of driver's license testing centers in Gauteng. And that forensic investigation report actually just opens up or just gives some weight to what we've been saying and what South Africans have been saying.
That they corrupt.
Corruption with regards to booking slots to renew your driver's license and the issues regarding that. So that forensic investigation report investigated certain allegations of corruption, of runners. I don't know if you know what a runner is.
I have an idea. That's someone that's going to take all your license cards and this, that, run inside and bypass queues and do a deal with someone behind a counter or something like that.
Exactly. So basically, we know that in Gauteng, it is reliant on booking slots. So you make use of the NATA system, which is managed by the RTMC. And if you want to renew your driver's license, you have to book a slot. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I've struggled of just getting a slot.
Almost everyone says it's impossible.
Getting a slot. So what a runner does is they book these slots.
Yes.
They make a bunch of bookings, 20, 50, 60 bookings.
And they sell the openings.
Then they sell it
at a premium.
To us at a premium, exactly. So those runners are
And South
effectively
Africa's
making money.
You know, South Africa's full of get-rich schemes at the
Entrepreneurs.
expense of the taxpayer.
That is absolutely the truth. So the whole point of this online booking system, according to government, was to halter corruption.
Yes, instead it just created a new opportunity.
It actually moved this corrupt practices from the front office of the DLTCs, where you had to make your booking, to the back office of an online system.
All right, so why are you mentioning all of this to us?
Right. So, number one, the DLTC report, or the forensic investigation report, points out a lot of things about the corruption. And we believe, I mean, it's clear cut. Investigation was done. The recommendations were made. Now the Department of Transport needs to act. Because Minister Fikile Mbalula said that, yes, he acknowledged that there was a backlog earlier this year, but he also blamed civil society or taxpayers for not adhering to booking slots or congesting some of these processes. And with this forensic investigation report, his argument is blown out of the water, because it shows that there's corruption, there's fee dumping, there's runners, people can't get slots, and if they can get a slot, it's not even necessarily in the jurisdiction that they live. The centers itself are not maintained. There are problems with the processes, with the technical expertise of the people handling this, and then with the employees working at these centers.
Sounds to me like the minister's got a couple of important decisions to make. And from my side of the fence, as an average South African motorist, I'd like him to make the decisions in my favor, for once.
No, absolutely. And I think people ask the question, but why should I care about this? Why is it important for me to care about a forensic investigation report regarding DLTCs? Well, basically because it impacts your safety on the road. What this report also found is that you can get a learner's license and a driver's license if you pay someone 650 Rand. 6,500 Rand,
So
without
for
even taking the
$6,500,
test.
you don't have to do the test. You get all
Nothing.
your licenses sorted out, and you're behind the wheel of a car, ready to go cause an accident somewhere.
Exactly. And then roadworthiness of vehicles as well. There's so much corruption going and underhand dealings going on that it affects the normal person on the street or normal person on the road.
Okay, OUTA's on this. You're
Absolutely.
on this. You're not letting it go.
No, absolutely not. So what we'll do now, there are certain recommendations that were made, and we will monitor the situation. And if nothing happens, we will pursue this further. I know there were recommendations made that certain matters should be referred to the SAPS, which is the police.
Yeah.
Criminal charges should be laid, and if it's not going to happen,
That one I know, SAPS.
we will hold them accountable, and that's
Good.
that's I think a main objective of keeping an eye on this is people need to be held accountable, not just the minister, not just government, but the people facilitating these issues as well.
All right, so when you make your donation to OUTA every month, or you're considering hitting the Join Now button at outa.coza, these are the type of projects that the senior legal project managers and legal team that Andrea belongs to deal with on your behalf as a South African motorist. And I suppose the word of encouragement from my side, and I guess yours too, would be to join OUTA if you're a motorist and put some more weight behind this argument with a monthly donation.
No, absolutely. I mean, without the support of our supporters and civil society, you won't be able to do what we're doing. And at the end of the day, we fight not just for ourselves, but we fight for the betterment of South Africa. Yeah. And we believe that you can have the best processes, you can have the best legislation, but you can't enforce it and you can't make it work, then it's not going to have the desired effect. So without our supporters, we won't be able to do it. So if you want to make a change, donate to OUTA.
Hit the Join Now button at outa.coza. Thank you, Andrea. It's always good to have you with us, and nice to know that someone like you and an organization like OUTA is on the side of the motorists in South Africa.
Thanks, Tom.
Always good to see Andrea in the studio, and thank you for joining us on this In Conversation clip. OUTA is firmly on your side as a motorist in South Africa. Fikile Mbalula, Minister Mbalula, has some important decisions to make that will affect you as a South African motorist. OUTA is keeping an eye on the progress.